It was a normal Wednesday, coffee in hand, when I opened the email that would change everything. Effective immediately, all male employees must wear skirts or dresses on Mondays and Wednesdays, paired with hosiery and blouses. Compliance is mandatory. I stared at the screen. My hands shook. My brain couldn't process it. This has to be a joke, I thought, refreshing the email. But no, it wasn't. The words glared at me. Mandatory. Panic rose. Fear prickled my skin. My office, my cubicle, the fluorescent lights, even the keyboard in front of me, they all felt like a stage. And I was the unwilling performer, expected to walk in skirts, stockings, and blouses. I sat frozen for a long minute. Then, something else surfaced. A small, dangerous spark of curiosity. What if it's different? By the time I left work that evening, my heart was racing. I couldn't stop thinking about the fabric, the sensations, the exposure. Fear mixed with intrigue. I knew one thing. My life had just changed. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the pile of clothes I had pulled from my closet. A black pencil skirt, a soft blouse, and a pair of sheer pantyhose. My hands hovered above them, trembling. Can I really do this? I whispered to myself. Slowly I slid into the skirt. The fabric felt foreign against my thighs, tight yet strangely alive. Next, the blouse. It brushed softly across my shoulders and chest. My heartbeat skyrocketed. I hesitated in front of the mirror. The reflection was shocking, vulnerable, exposed. And yet a small thrill coursed through me, a mixture of fear, embarrassment, and excitement I hadn't felt before. I paced, crossed my legs, adjusted the blouse. Every movement felt deliberate, every step heightened. I couldn't believe how conscious I suddenly was of my body, of the fabric, of the way I carried myself. By the end of the night, the fear hadn't disappeared, but it had transformed. A part of me wanted to feel this again, to explore it more, even if it was terrifying. The next morning I dressed carefully. Black skirt, soft blouse, sheer pantyhose. I caught my reflection in the mirror and barely recognized myself. Vulnerable. Exposed. Yet alive. Walking out of my apartment, every sound felt louder. The click of my shoes, the soft brush of the skirt against my legs, the murmur of neighbors. My heart raced with each step. At the cafe I ordered coffee. My voice was quieter than usual, trembling slightly. The barista smiled politely, unaware of the storm inside me. Every glance in the reflective window seemed like a mirror showing a person I was only just beginning to meet. Every step, every gesture, every subtle sway of the skirt felt conscious, deliberate. People stared, some whispering, some curious, some indifferent. I noticed a thrill coursing through me. The fear mingled with excitement, a strange exhilaration I hadn't expected. By the time I walked home, my chest was tight with adrenaline. I had tested the world, and the world had not broken me. Instead, it had awakened something inside me, a sense of awareness, a curiosity, and a spark of courage I couldn't ignore. That evening, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I called my best friend, Sarah, my fingers trembling around the phone. "Hey, I need to tell you something," I said, voice shaking. "Okay, you can tell me anything," she replied softly. I swallowed hard. It's about me. About how I've been dressing, at home, at work. In the skirts and pantyhose the boss wants us to wear." There was a pause. My chest tightened. I could hear the faint hum of the line, as if the world had stopped, waiting. "Wait, really?" Sarah finally said, her tone calm, curious, not judging. "Yes," I whispered. I don't know why, but part of me feels alive when I do this. And scared. And I don't know how to feel about it." She laughed softly, warmly. "Well, that's brave. I get it. I really do. And I'm here for you." Relief washed over me like a flood. For the first time, I realized I didn't have to hide everything. I could let someone in. And letting someone in didn't weaken me, it made me stronger. That night, looking in the mirror, I didn't just see pantyhose or a blouse. I saw someone who could occupy space in the world without shrinking, someone who was beginning to understand themselves in a way that scared and thrilled them at the same time. Monday morning arrived like a storm I was ready to face. I stood in front of the mirror, dressed in my black skirt, soft blouse, and sheer pantyhose. The reflection staring back wasn't just me. It was someone I had discovered over weeks of secret exploration, fear, and quiet triumphs. Stepping out of my apartment, my heart hammered. Every footstep echoed differently, every sway of my skirt felt magnified. I expected stares, whispers, maybe even ridicule. But I walked anyway, head held high, every movement intentional, every gesture conscious. At the office, glances and whispers followed. Some colleagues stared openly. Others whispered behind their hands. But something had shifted in me. I didn't shrink. I adjusted my posture, softened my voice, and let myself exist fully in this new form that had once terrified me. Even my boss noticed. He didn't scold or praise, he simply nodded. Good. Keep going. That simple acknowledgement, free of judgment, felt more powerful than any approval I had ever sought. Each day became a lesson in presence. The skirts, the pantyhose, the blouses, they were no longer symbols of coercion. They were tools of self-discovery. Every step reinforced a truth I had slowly learned. Vulnerability could coexist with strength. Exposure could coexist with confidence. Fear could coexist with exhilaration. By the end of the week, I realized I was no longer just complying. I was exploring, learning, and fully inhabiting a version of myself that had been hidden even from me. And in that awareness, I found empowerment, quiet, steady, and undeniable. I wasn't shrinking. I was growing. I was alive. I was myself. Listen closely because this is important. For years, I walked through life trying to fit into everyone else's expectations. Shrinking, hiding, pretending. Every step felt stiff. Every glance felt heavy. Every breath felt constrained. Then came the skirts, the blouses, the pantyhose, a boss's demand I never expected. At first I felt fear, embarrassment, and even shame. But slowly, through secret explorations, small victories, and facing the world, I discovered something vital. Transformation doesn't come from permission or approval. It comes from honesty. From leaning into the feelings you've been told to ignore. From exploring the parts of yourself that scare you. You don't need anyone to validate you. You don't need labels. You just need courage. The courage to step into yourself fully and unapologetically. Step carefully. Step boldly. Step into who you are. Let yourself breathe, move, and exist in ways that feel true. Because the most powerful transformation isn't about what you wear. It's about finally being seen, finally being felt, and finally being yourself. When that moment comes, when you finally meet the person you've been afraid to meet, you will understand what freedom truly means.